Right now, we are living in the absolute golden age of streaming, but let's be honest, a lot of what's dropping lately is just pure noise. So, how do you find the real gems? Today, we are counting down the top 5 latest web series that completely blew me away. We've got insane plot twists, incredible performances, and at least one show I guarantee is not even on your radar yet. Hit that subscribe button, grab your popcorn, and let's count them down. Apple's knack for turning high-concept premises into sleek, prestige television strikes again with maximum pleasure guaranteed. Created by David J. Rosen and directed by David Gordon Green, this 10-episode dark comedy thriller is a wildly chaotic, deeply addictive look at modern anxiety, digital intimacy, and the lengths a person will go to when their life feels entirely out of their own hands. The series follows Paula, a magazine fact-checker, spiraling through a messy divorce and a stressful custody battle over her daughter. Feeling isolated in her new apartment while her ex-husband Carl moves on, Paula finds a bizarre solace and an outlet for venting by paying Trevor, a charismatic webcam boy, for his time. What starts as a combination of digital therapy and casual intimacy turns into a nightmare when, during one of their live sessions, Paula witnesses Trevor being brutally attacked in his home. When she goes to the police, she's dismissed. When the attackers turn their sights on her with a $15,000 blackmail demand, threatening to dismantle her already fragile life, Paula takes matters into her own hands. Armed with her daughter's sports equipment and her professional fact-checking skills, she tracks down Trevor's address only to stumble face-first into a deeply twisted murder conspiracy involving a bizarre antagonist named Frank. If you love the anxious energy of The Flight Attendant, the dark humor of Dead to Me, or the psychological tension of Beef, this is your next immediate obsession. Amazon Prime's Spider-Noir is a stylish, highly atmospheric departure from your typical superhero fare, leaning heavily into a hard-boiled 1940s detective aesthetic. The series follows an aging, grizzled private investigator named Ben Reilly, played with brilliant, idiosyncratic grit by Nicolas Cage, who previously voiced the character in Into the Spider-Verse. Operating in a corrupt, cynical, alternate universe New York, Riley is an ex-hero who has hung up his webs until a missing persons case involving a nightclub singer, Cat Hardy, pulls him right back into a dangerous underworld run by the gangster Silvermane. If you're tired of standard superhero fatigue and want something witty, confident, and visually distinct, Spider-Noir is absolutely worth the watch. It successfully trades cosmic rays and shiny spandex for whiskey, shadows, and old-school cinematic charm. If you are looking for your next streaming obsession, Apple TV's Widow's Bay is officially taking over the conversation, and for good reason. Created by Katie Dippold and directed by Hiro Murai, this genre-bending series pulls off a high-wire act that is as genuinely unsettling as it is wildly hilarious. The show centers on a fading, isolated New England fishing island plagued by spotty cell service and centuries-old local superstitions. Enter Tom Lofties, played brilliantly by an unraveled Matthew Rhys, the town's defensive, slightly cowardly mayor who is desperate to bring the island into the 20th century and turn it into a bustling tourist hotspot. He succeeds in bringing the tourists in only to immediately realize the eccentric locals weren't crazy. The ludicrous, terrifying old legends are completely real, and a historic curse is actively waking up. Widow's Bay doesn't just stick to one lane. One week it's an eerie psychological mystery, and the next, it's a genius, laugh-out-loud homage to 80s slasher flicks. If you want a masterfully directed, highly original horror comedy that doesn't hold back on the scares or the jokes, put this at the top of your watch list. If you're a fan of gritty, atmospheric police dramas that favor slow-burn tension over loud explosions, Criminal Record is well worth your time. The show, which recently premiered its second season in April 2026, centers on the high-stakes friction between two detectives at opposite ends of their careers. The series pits D.S. June Lenker, a sharp, idealistic detective, against DCI Daniel Hegarty, a weathered veteran with a death stare and a reputation for protecting the old guard. DCI Daniel is devastatingly good as a man who is both brilliant and possibly corrupt. D.S. June provides a fierce, grounded emotional anchor. The show is deliberately paced. It doesn't hand you answers immediately. Instead, it lets the silence and the unspoken tension do the heavy lifting. If you liked Line of Duty but wished it was a bit more noir and psychological, this is your next binge. Following up on his massive hit Baby Reindeer, creator and writer Richard Gadd delivers another pitch-black, uncompromising look at human trauma with his new 2026 HBO/BBC limited series, Half Man. If Baby Reindeer was an exploration of obsession and vulnerability, Half Man is a six-part, devastating autopsy of toxic masculinity, repression, and generational cycle of abuse. It is brilliant, raw, and deeply uncomfortable television. Half Man is a feel-bad masterpiece that will test your tolerance for emotional pain. It strips away all Hollywood euphemisms regarding male trauma to expose how terrorized people go on to terrorize people. While Gadd's performance as the bulked-up, terrifyingly volatile adult Reuben proves his incredible range, it is Jamie Bell's quietly devastating portrayal of the broken adult Niall that grounds the show's tragedy. It isn't an easy watch, and the relentless bleakness might cause some viewers to turn away midway through. However, if you appreciate television that refuses to moralize and instead demands that you look directly into the abyss of human behavior, Half Man is a blazing, unforgettable achievement.